What if you were told that there exists a world of demons, aka the demonatas, that don't think twice before obliterating and devouring your soul? Not your regular mind-bending, gut-wrenching horror series. Demonata is a horror fantasy series that narrates a saga so gruesome and visceral, you'll never look at the word demon the same way again. So whether you're new to the Darren Shan universe or mustering up the courage to revisit it yet again, come along as we journey to this demon-ravaged world, unlike anything you've ever seen before. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. What's the full story arc of the Demonata series? Books 1 through 4. The Demonata series introduces us to 3 protagonists, Grubbs Grady, Colonel Fleck, and Beck, each existing in 3 separate timelines, centuries apart, but bound by a destiny that twists their stories together in their fight against the monstrous world of Demonata. Book 1, Lord Loss. The book, released in 2005, narrates the story of Grubbs Grady, the protagonist, a cheeky, sarcastic teen whose life turns upside down when he discovers his family has been brutally slaughtered at the hands of demons led by the demon master, Lord Loss. After being institutionalized for his trauma, he is rescued by his uncle, Dervish, who believes his story. There, at Dervish's mansion, Grubbs becomes friends with Bill E., who is in fact a werewolf. Barely escaping an encounter, Grubbs and Dervish discover that the only way to rescue Bill E. is to battle Lord Loss through a deadly combination of chess and combat. They do survive, but the book sets the stage for the fatal blend of horror, strategy, and emotional trauma that would be carried forward in the other books. Book 2, Demon Thief. The book, released on the same year, but set 6 years before the Lord Loss incident happened, follows the story of Colonel Fleck, a boy who can see visions of mysterious glowing lights. After the abduction of his younger brother Art by a demon, Fleck makes its way to the Demonata universe by tracing the trail back. While on his way, he meets and is followed by disciples who assist him in his quest to rescue Art and uncover the truth about the matter. He ends up discovering how Art is involved as part of a larger plan and his own reluctant transformation into a demon warrior. Book 3, Slaughter. Slaughter, 2006, follows the return of Grubbs Grady, a year after the whole fiasco with Lord Loss. Now living with his uncle Dervish and his friend cousin Bill E. are invited to a horror movie set by a movie producer named Davida Hine. The film Slaughter has the basic premise of demons and their world with realistic effects. Later, Grubbs discovers that Davida has made a deal with Lord Loss and, to produce an authentic touch to the movie, has actually summoned real demons. As a bloody carnage unfolds on the set, Grubbs understands 2 things. His powers are now growing, and that whether he likes it or not, he is knee-deep in the Demonata war, where the only way out is to fight back and survive. Book 4, Beck. The book follows a flashback to ancient Ireland, where a young priestess in training, Beck, is introduced. With a photographic memory and a highly spiritual nature, Beck joins a group of warriors after an attack on her monastery. The group, who are on a mission to seal off the portal between Earth and the Demonata world, face quite a lot of hardships along the way. After battling Lord Loss, Beck sacrifices herself to seal off the tunnel and dies in the process. Her soul, not passed on but lingering, serves as somewhat of an origin story for the Demonata War. How does the war escalate? Books 5 through 7. Book 5, Blood Beast. Grubbs' familial history with lycanthropy is slowly catching up to him, with the question no longer about survival, but more about ensuring the monster doesn't break free. As he realizes his power is becoming stronger, its origin is revealed to be tied to something ancient and dark, and as he finally transforms, everything changes. Book 6, Demon Apocalypse. The Demonata War is fully in overdrive, and Loss unleashes his army of demons to invade and destroy Earth's barriers. With a crossover of timelines, Colonel appears and aids Grubbs to stand up to the Demonata. Grubbs, desperate, now has to take the help of the very own raw magic that scares him about himself to confront Lord Loss and his generals. However, the storyline takes a complete turn when Grubbs, Colonel, and Barnabas must travel through time to prevent the creation of a demonic tunnel. There, in the past, Grubbs needs to make a tough call that might involve risking his brother, Bill E.'s life in order to seal the portal. Book 7, Death's Shadow. Beck, who has now been reborn in the modern world, still has memories from her past life. Her life, somehow still tethered to the Demonata world, haunts her. Barnabas recounts his own demonic origins and lifelong crusade. As Grubbs hunts the lambs and the rest, Barnabas, Dervish, and Colonel are joined by Beck. Aboard a cruise ship set as a trap by Lord Loss and Junie, the group faces an ancient demonic force known as the Shadow, which is nothing but death incarnate. Although Barnabas sacrifices himself, the rest remain stranded, forced to face the consequences of death. How does the Demonata saga end? Books 8 through 10. Book 8, Wolf Island. Grubbs leads a mission to a remote island that is full of werewolves as a result of genetic experimentations and mutations by lambs. But once there, Grubbs finds himself drawn to these werewolves, his secret ability of lycanthropy deepening more. On the other hand, the demons of Demonata are also becoming much stronger than before as Shadow's influence spreads. Grubbs starts embracing the darker parts of himself that he has been trying to run from, while Beck's deeper connection to Shadow also get revealed. The trio begins to grow distant, their unity slowly starting to fracture, while lingering questions remain as to the distinction between hero and monster, as the line between them starts to blur. Book 9, Dark Calling. Now, told from the perspective of Colonel, the Demonata War has now reached a cosmic level. Colonel finds out that the universe was, in fact, created by the mysterious Ka Gash artificially, and with the ability to self-destruct and get reborn again. Colonel, Grubbs, and Beck are its fragments, destined to either destroy reality or save it. As the trio navigates the lengths of space and time in demon universes, Colonel becomes increasingly inquisitive about the purpose of it all and the cost of peace. Beck is also shown to be increasingly more controlled by Shadow, and the trio continues to not see eye to eye on a lot of aspects. Book 10, Hell's Heroes. The Earth is almost on the verge of complete destruction, and demons have established control over everything. Beck, whom the Shadow now possesses, unleashes total mayhem and horror, while Grubbs and Colonel make their final stand. Colonel gets gravely wounded, and Beck begs Shadow to free. Grubbs has to make an unimaginable choice all by himself. He decides to reboot the universe using the Ka Gash, thereby erasing magic, demons, and himself. Now, in the new reality that exists, the threat of Demonata never supposedly existed. Grubbs, who sacrificed everything, ultimately saved the world and helped bring peace. What do the Demonata look like? If we do talk about describing what Demonata look like, the most apt word would be shifting, not possessing any creativity or individuality whatsoever. The Demonata assumes and switches appearances of various creatures, right from wolves, insects, serpents, and sometimes even a combination of them all. Then there are other Demonata who adopt alien forms. Some are small, insect-like, while some tower over others, adopting colossal forms that are multi-headed or even tentacled. It's this variability of theirs, the ever-shifting, inconsistent nature, that makes them all the more terrifying. They can stretch, mutate, regrow, or simply spurt into something new. Many even shift forms mid-battle to confuse or overwhelm their opponents. Their bodies, seemingly resembling a pile of organs randomly arranged on top of each other to pass off as humans, can have eyes in their stomachs, teeth instead of fingernails, or extra arms sprouting from their backs. Some don't even have a fixed shape and exist instead as smoke, shadows, or boiling ooze. What are the Demonata really like inside? At their core, the Demonata are creatures that operate not out of fear or survival, but by the lust for destruction. It is just in their nature to kill and obliterate. Most don't even have the emotional capacity or intelligence. Their brains are simply hardwired for slaughter, and their motto is quite clear: to achieve dominion over the entire universe. But there are indeed exceptions to these. Not all of the Demonata are mindless. Lord Loss is a very powerful example of that. Being a demon himself, his actions are fueled by inflicting emotional agony, feeding off the sorrow and despair of humans. He's calculated and loves chess and poetry. He's a contrasting character, which leads the readers into a state of quandary, navigating between his humanness despite being a Demonata himself. Another notable quirk of the Demonata is their loathing of the old creatures. That is, the ancient beings of order, yet they still begrudgingly respect their power. And ironically, this respect never dulls their desire to eradicate them. What are the Demonata ranks and hierarchy? The Demonata can be roughly divided into 3 ranks of hierarchy, from the weakest to the strongest: Fomori, normal demons, and demon masters. Starting at the bottom of the chain are the Fomori. Despite being dangerous, they are also considered the weakest. Being harmed by exposure to sunlight, Fomori are also susceptible to being killed easily by conventional means. The Fomori boost their overall strength by fusing with corpses and animals. They mostly prefer to attack at night, with some of the earliest demons being mistaken by humans for mythological creatures. Next come the second tier Demonata, a broadly diverse group that includes demons ranging widely in size, strength, and ability. These demons are certainly more powerful than Fomori demons, a clear distinction being that human weapons are useless against them, vulnerable only to the effect of magic, which can destroy them, but if a magical source remains, it may also help them to regenerate. Most of the demons in this category are mindless, acting purely on instinct and driven by a lust to destroy. Others are more cunning and strategic in their approach. Familiar second tier or normal demons are Vein, Artery, and Gregor. Lastly, at the topmost position of the hierarchy are the Demon Masters, the huge, towering beings with unparalleled strength. They control their own realms and often command legions of lesser demons. Even the weakest of their category, like Lord Loss, is capable of slaughtering ace veteran magicians. Their forms are usually twisted fusions of earthly animals, tailored for inflicting terror and dominance. Who are the most notorious demons in the series? The leader, Death, aka the Shadow. With quite a few ferocious demons depicted in this series, number 1 on the list for sure goes to Death, or the Shadow, as the disciples call it. Resembling a massive shadowy octopus, complete with countless tentacles, each with their own mouths, Death's entire body is otherwise composed of absorbed souls, like the very powerful Barnabas. Towering in its monstrous glory, it is quite literally an embodiment of death itself. What truly separates Death from the rest of the Demonata and makes him all the more notorious and scary is his motive. Unlike the other Demonata that revel in chaos and destruction, its purpose is straight and unwavering: to return the universe back to its original state and inhabited only by the Demonata and old creatures. To make sure this purpose is brought to completion, it manipulates the other Demonata, luring them with a bait of immortality in exchange for loyalty, and seeks to gather the 3 pieces of the Kagash to rewrite time. It has amazing abilities and magical powers, like resurrecting the dead, burning and completely draining life by mere touch, and even destroying the strongest of magical creatures within the blink of an eye. But its only weakness? A window opens directly into its body and can momentarily destroy its physical form, though it can quickly reform as well. It's safe to say that Death, also known as the Shadow, certainly gives the other demons a tough competition for the title of the most formidable and notorious demon in the series. Demonic Master, Lord Loss. The iconic character of Lord Loss leaves an indelible impression on readers, standing out in terms of its overall personality and purpose, as well as its unique appearance. With his pale red, lumpy skin and mangled arms, he did not have a heart in his body, and instead had a gaping hole, which had hordes of poisonous snakes inside. Although some might think he feeds off the sorrow of humanity as a form of sustenance, it is in fact far from the truth, which is what makes him even more notorious. Purely killing for the thrill and enjoyment of it is what originally was the driving force behind his maniacal motive. Lord Loss also stands out for his sophisticated speech, poetic tone, and affinity for jest, often treating his victims with eerie politeness before subjecting them to horrific deaths. Looking at it from a broader, more critical point of view, Lord Loss was far from the stereotypical bad guy villain frame that the others on the list clearly fit into, but it's just the contrast between his human side and the complete opposite demonic side, and the transition between the two is what makes him all the more eerie. Though among the weaker demon masters, his shrewd and devious ways allow him to survive longer than most. He's also the only one to travel between realms freely, which definitely gives him an added advantage. Overall, despite his poetic and chess maestro side, he is, after all, nothing but a sadistic demon master, and very much so a very notable, notorious character. First tier demons. Cretton, a first tier demonata, first introduced in Demon Apocalypse, may not be one of the most powerful demons, but sure vies for the spot of being one of the notorious characters of the series. Having an unsettling presence, he is blue-skinned and has a fiery triangular pair of eyes. He obviously possesses the shared unpredictability factor that the other first tier demons possess. Not really connected with Lord Loss, Grubbs, Colonel, and Barnabas, they first encountered it during their travels. What gets Cretton's character character even more cemented in the reader's minds is his incomprehensible language, which resembles someone choking. It's not the power aspect that might make demons seem terrifying. Sometimes, like with Cretton, it is the eerie peculiarity that follows him. Lesser Demon, Barnabas's father. One of the lesser known, but the most hated and probably only disturbing figure in the series of Demonata is that of Barnabas's father. Notorious in terms of his brutal actions, he forced himself on Brigida, a nut, taking advantage of his status as a lesser demon. Barnabas, a result of this horrific act, would later go on to play a key role in the saga. Though the demon never reappears or participates in his son's life, his cruel action marks a turning point in the series, a testament to just how inhuman the Demonata can be, with no regard for morality and the sheer embodiment of true evil. Marvelous verdict. Maybe amid the gruesome battles, twisted timelines, and notorious demons, Darren Shan's universe of Demonata was never easy to digest, but perhaps that's what made it so unforgettable. What remains are all just questions. Was Grubb's sacrifice really justified? Was Lord Lost the true villain, or simply the only honest one? Let us know your darkest theories and favorite moments in the comments below. That's all for this video. See you in the next one. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one, be safe, and thanks everyone.